Mark will introduce the starting lineup.
They should, though.
Yeah.
Because it is MSJ and Rutland. First meeting of the season between the two local schools here, so we're ready for action. Let's see, we got for the Raiders coming out. Well, let's see, that's Jesse Baker there, number 23. I got his number. Joe Kelligeri, 21. Tom Nickel, number 32. Number 30 out there is John Paul Lavanciere. And let's see, the only other one I missed. Yeah, number 22, Matt Shortle. He'll be jumping, let's see, Tom Nickel jumping center.
Tom McCann.
And it is Tom.
Tom McCann jumping center.
It is, okay. I don't even have him on the roster here.
25.
All right, so Tom McCann is 25 for the Mounties.
Josh Polgar with a shot.
Polgar, all right. Kelligeri, and let's see, it's going to stay down at that end. It'll be a Mountie ball inbounded. And let's see, number 13 for the Mounties, Brian, no, wait a minute, going the other way. Well,
Brian Hart.
They goofed me up on the numbers, Brian. This is going to be tough now. That is Hart, 13?
I believe so.
Okay, so we'll go with Mr. Hart, that's number 13. In the middle there for the Mounties, Jesse Baker, and Baker with the putback doesn't get it. Rebound, let's see, we got a foul on the play.
It's on Tom McCann.
Tom McCann. Let's get Tom's number here, 25, so that's his first personal. And the Raiders will inbound to John Paul Lavanciere, getting it to Joe Kelligeri now. Outside, Shortle to Baker. Baker, and it comes up short, rebounded by McCann. This is Hart for the Mounties. Some of these other numbers here, they don't even match. And he bounced it back. Shot is good. Tom McCann with the shot. And the Mounties are up 2-0. 7:02 left, first quarter action here, junior varsity style tonight. There's Tom Nickel going inside to Baker, back out to Nickel. Lavanciere over to Kelligeri, wanted to, takes the jumper in the lane. And it's picked up by McCann for the Mounties, gets it ahead to Hart. The 13 out there, let's see. John Ryder's in there, number 55. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a Mountie ball. Number 20, Brian, any idea for the Mounties?
Number 20 is Josh Polgar.
Okay, they got the wrong numbers on the roster. So 20.
Don't ask me anybody else.
Okay.
Tom McCann and Josh Polgar.
All right, Polgar into Hart. Back to Polgar, driving the base. Want to go in the lane there to Ryder, and it's over his head, controlled by Lavanciere from outside for the Raiders. Off underneath, and there's a fall. Baker hustled down underneath in the lane, and he gets fouled on the play.
That's McCann's second.
Tom McCann on the personal. That's Tom's second of the ball game. So stepping to the cherry stripe is Jesse Baker. Two to nothing, 6:11 left. First quarter action here from Keith. And Jesse gets that first one. The Raiders are on the board, 2-1 now. Baker with the second one. Baker gets them both 2-2. And first quarter action here from Keith, junior varsity action. Polgar, number 20 for the Mounties, gets it inside, and he lost the handle. Let's see who that was. Like Jeff Weatherby for the Mounties, couldn't find the handle on it. Back the other way, Lavanciere to Kelligeri with the jumper. Off the glass, Joe Kelligeri with the jumper for the Raiders.
As soon as we get a timeout, we'll try to get these numbers straightened out.
Okay. 5:41 left, first quarter, back the other way. Polgar on the base. Fouled on the play. Four to 2, Raiders up, 5:36 left, first quarter. Stepping to the line, Josh Polgar for the Mounties.
Josh Polgar was on my KFC Little League team.
Pretty familiar with him then.
Yeah.
All right.
Good athlete.
Well, he got his formal training under you, so that must tell you something. There you go. 4-4 is the score here at Keefe. It's 5:28 left, first quarter. Junior varsity action here tonight on Channel 15. Baker now outside. Baker in the lane, pretty shot, doesn't go, and he's scrambling for the rebound underneath. And I think, let's see who they're going to give the foul to here, number 14. And I don't have a 14, so I couldn't tell you who he is. We'll get that straightened out, though. Lavancier goes to Nickel. Over to Shortle, outside to Baker now. Into Nickel.
14 is Dan Boudreau. Do you have that?
Boudreau?
Yeah.
I got Boudreau. There's a shot by Lavancier, and it's rebounded by Boudreau. Stolen away by Nickel. And we got a foul. The basket's good by Tom Nickel underneath. 13 commits the foul. Not sure who that is. In the 14, we had Dan Boudreau.
13. Hey, your boy? Yeah, 13 is Brian Hart.
Brian Hart, number 13. For the Mounties. Stepping in the line is Tom Nickel, the chance for the three-point play here. Raiders 6, Mounties 4. 4:53 left, first quarter action. Tom gets it.
Jeff Weatherby is number 50.
Okay. Back the other way, Polgar.
Brian Hart.
Outside, doesn't go. That was Hart. And let's see, rebounded by Nickel for the Raiders. Ahead to Kelligiri. And knocked away by Polgar out of bounds. 4:40 left, 7-4 Raiders.
About 55. Mr. Hart, 55.
John Ryder, okay. We got some numbers.
Trying to run a camera here and ask people who the numbers are.
And do the play-by-play. Number 12 in there for the Raiders. And a shot goes up. It's controlled by the Mounties. Aaron Dardick in the ball game for Rutland now. Back the other way, Polgar. And I think we got a blocking foul there against Matt Shortle.
So we all set on the Mounties now?
I think so, until something else comes up.
They've only got 3 on the bench, and Tom McCann's one of them, so.
Okay, yep. So it'll be a Mountie ball here, inbound, and let's see, it's... Shot is good, three-pointer by Dan Boudreau. And it's 7-7 here, 4:12 left, first quarter action. Kelligiri from outside, and he hits it. Joe Kelligiri with a three-pointer, and it's 10-7 Raiders, 4:01 left, first quarter action. Back come the Mounties. Brian Hart, 13. Number 14 is Boudreau for the Mounties. That's Josh Polgar. Back to Hart. In the middle, underneath. Nice shot. Doesn't go. And let's see. Number 50 in there is Jeff Weatherby for the Mounties. So it'll be an MSJ ball out of bounds. It's at the Polgar. And nice shot in the lane by Polgar. And back the other way. Baker gets it inside to Kelligiri with the jumper. And Joe Kelligiri with the turnaround. 12-9 Rutland, 3:17 left first quarter. Polgar the other way, doesn't go. Rebound is controlled by the Mounties, Boudreau. And he's got the hot hand. Boudreau with the three-pointer, his second three-pointer of the ball game. 3:02 left in the first quarter, and it's 12-12. And it's going to be a backcourt. And the Raiders will turn the ball over to the Mounties.
Everybody's still reacting to that three-pointer. Even the coach turned around on that one.
That could be.
That was from way outside.
That was downtown. 2:58 left first quarter, and it's 12-12. The Raiders and the Mounties here. And it's junior varsity action tonight here from Keefe. All right, this is Weatherby now, looking inside. He goes to Polgar to Hart. Hart gets it inside. That's number 41. We got a new number in there. That's Ian McCormick, I believe, 41. Knocked away, and it goes off of Baker's foot, retrieved by Kelligeri. Angel Shannon in the ball game there for the Raiders, 25. Gets it to Baker, and he's fouled out in front. Brian Hart with the personal.
It's 5 for MSJ, 2 for Rutland.
And that's Brian's second personal of the ball game. Raiders inbound. It goes to Baker outside in the lane. Dishes to Shannon. He wanted to go to Nickel. And it's knocked away, controlled by Hart of the Mounties. Bounce underneath, up and in. Polgar with the bucket. Back the other way now. Number 11 in there for the Raiders, Sean Irish. And Kelligeri wants to go, and a shot is up and in. Joe Kelligeri with the bucket, 14-14, 1:50 left, first quarter here from Keefe. That's Polgar. Gets it to McCormick. McCormick goes in the lane, off the glass, and it drops. I tell you, Brian.
Everything's falling tonight.
It's entertaining. First quarter, 1:32 left here. The Raiders and the Mounties. The Mounties on top, 16-14. Kelligeri gets it to Baker from downtown, and that one's going to bounce around. It doesn't go. Rebound is Irish with the rebound, the smallest guy out there. And he gets it back outside to Shannon. He goes back to Irish, and it rolls around, doesn't go. McCormick with the rebound, gets it to Hart. Hart gets it to Boudreau now. Boudreau off, and it doesn't go. Rebound is controlled by McCormick of the Mounties with the shot. Nickel with the rebound, and he gets it ahead to Baker. 54 seconds left, first quarter here from Keefe. Jesse Baker out front, goes to Tom Nickel now. Nickel goes back to Shannon. Shannon over to Kelligeri now. The jumper, and Kelligeri's on fire here for the Raiders. Was that a 2 or a 3? That was the 2.
32 seconds left.
Kelligeri ties it up 16 apiece here with 29 seconds left. First quarter action from Keefe.
Coach wants them to hold it up for 1.
All right, they're going to hold it for 1.
20 seconds. Almost at a backcourt. Yep, stepping on the line.
Kelligeri, 11 points, first quarter, Brian.
Boy,
he's on fire. So the Raiders have a chance here for the last shot in the first quarter. 16 seconds left. This is Baker, loses the handle momentarily, gets it back though. Working against Hart in the lane, and we got a fall out in front.
7 seconds left to go. That'll be the 16th foul for the Mounties.
Wow. Good ball game though. Good first quarter of action here. Trying to go to Baker from outside, and Nickel bouncing the run down by Polgar, puts it up at the buzzer, and it doesn't go. Pretty close. So after 1 quarter of play here, it's the Raiders 16 and the Mounties 16. We'll be back. All right, back at Keefe Gymnasium here, and second quarter action just underway. 16-16, we're all knotted up here. Junior varsity action between the Raiders and the Mounties tonight. Shannon's in here, he goes to Baker now, steps it inside to Kelligeri, had the hot hand in the first quarter for the Mounties, to Nickel, over to Irish, back to Shannon. Over to Baker now, Baker looking inside, they may go. Kelligeri drops down now. They go to Tom Nickel. Tom Nickel, the tall guy out there in the crowd. Baker goes back to Nickel. And underneath to Shannon, gets knocked away there by Polgar. And let's see, checking in is Kevin Dumas for the Raiders. And checking out will be Tom Nickel. So Dumas replaces Nickel for Rutland. And it's Baker with the ball. And, well, he had the lane, didn't get it. And we go back to Boudreaux now for the Mounties. 7:12 left here, second quarter, 16 apiece. And a steal by Shannon. Angel Shannon, a little dipsy-doodle move, and he got caught going up and down. Well, it was a good play defensively, but he got caught going down the other end. And so
Matt Shortle coming in for Jesse Baker.
Okay, Shortle, number 22 for the Raiders, and Jean-Paul Lavancier in there, number 30 also. Bringing it up for the Mounties. Josh Polgar, there you go, into McCann off the glass and in.
Tom McCann in foul trouble in the first quarter, sat most of it out. He's back in now.
Mounties on top, 18-16, 6:42 left in the second quarter here from Keefe. Shortle wanted to go back to Irish, and a little mix-up on that one.
Jesse Baker in for Sean Irish.
All right, Baker's in, number 23 for the Raiders. Bringing it up now is Polgar for the Mounties. Gets it to Boudreaux. Boudreaux now goes inside to McCann. The turnaround, and it doesn't go. It's rebounded by Kelligeri. The Raiders ahead to Baker. Back to Kelligeri, outside, and it doesn't go. Rebound underneath by Dumas. And Kevin Dumas with the bucket. 18-18, 6:05 left in the second quarter here from Keefe. Polgar gets it back outside. McCormick now. Gets it to Boudreaux. Boudreaux back to McCormick. Wanted to go inside there. Now it's back to Boudreaux outside. Going to take it in, and not quite enough. Kelligeri tied up underneath. And it'll be an MSJ ball here. Weatherby's going to throw it in, and that one's going to go back. He could play that. That's not a backcourt. That's Boudreaux. He thought he was going to get called for a backcourt. Polgar puts it off the glass and in. Josh Polgar, 20-18, Mounties. Back comes Kelligeri off the back of the iron. And it's rebounded by Polgar. Kelligeri, the hot hand in that first quarter. And so far coming up cold here in the second quarter for the Raiders. 5:10 left in the quarter. 20-18, MSJ on top. Outside, Weatherby goes to McCann. McCann working against Dumas. Rebounded by Kelligeri. Back the other way now. We go to Baker, Jesse Baker in the lane. Off the glass. Baker with the bucket, 20-20 now. 4:43 left in the second quarter here. Bringing it up now is Josh Polgar for the Mounties. Gets it inside to McCormick. They go to Weatherby in the lane. And the ball is knocked away. It's going to stay down there, though. I think it went off Jesse Baker's hands. Coming in for the Raiders, let's see, that's Tom Nickel, number 32. And back in number 20, Aaron Dardick. Mounties will inbound. It goes to Boudreaux now. Dan Boudreaux goes inside to McCann, and we got a fall underneath. This one's going to be against Kevin Dumas. So Dumas picks up the personal, and that's his first of the ball game. 20-20, the Mounties and the Raiders. 4:22 left, second quarter here from Keefe. Goes outside out of Polgar. Polgar working against Baker out there. Go to Boudreaux. Boudreaux. Mounties very deliberate here, taking their time, trying to set something up. Polgar now. Working against Baker. Good matchup. Baker picks his pocket on that one. Back the other way. A foul, and the basket's good. And they're going to get McCormick on this one. Baker gets the basket, and he's fouled on the play. And a foul is, let's see, I believe it was McCormick there for the Mounties. And Baker gets a three-point play. 23-20, the Raiders on top, 3:50 left in the second quarter of play here. Junior varsity action in the lane, Josh Polgar, and he's going to get fouled. Let's see. Is that Kevin Dumas again, Brian?
Let's
see. Yeah, that's his second. And Polgar puts it in. Dumas picks up his second personal. Second one is no good. Rebound, and the Mounties will keep it alive. To Polgar outside. Got it. Three-pointer for Josh Polgar. And it's 24-23. Mounties on top with 3:32 left. And let's see, Dardick wanted to go inside there. Ball skirts out of bounds. It'll be a Mountie ball inbound here. Polgar will put it in play.
Caligiuri back in.
Joe Caligiuri, number 21, back in for the Raiders. 24-23. Back comes Polgar now, working against Baker. That's a good matchup, I'll tell you. They're two talented point guards here. And back the other way, Caligiuri ran it down McCormick, and he couldn't quite hang on to it. Good hustle, both ends of the court.
Comes Hackett in for Dumas.
Brian Hackett in the ballgame, number, let's see, 13?
Yep.
All right, so we got Baker in there, Matt Schroedel is in there, Tom Nickel, Brian Hackett, and Joe Caligiuri for the Raiders. The Mounties with McCann, Polgar, McCormick, Weatherby, and Boudreau in there. There's a shot by Baker. Rebounded. I think we got a foul on Tom Nickel. And I think Tom Nickel is going to pick up the personal there. That's his first.
5 team fouls for Rutland, 7 for the Mounties.
All right, back come the Mounties. 24-23. MSJ on top with 2:40 left here in the second quarter of play from Keefe Gymnasium.
Good look.
McCormick, yeah, that was a good look inside. And it's going to go back to the Raiders here. So with 2:33 left, Rutland puts it in play. Back comes Jesse Baker now. Baker and Hackett out there. It goes to Caligiuri. Caligiuri stopped. He wanted to go to Nickel, and it's retrieved down there by McCormick. Stolen away. And McCann comes out with it for the Mounties. Gets it back to Polgar. They go down to Boudreau from outside. He's got it. I tell you, these kids can shoot, Brian. I tell you, if it isn't Boudreau, it's Polgar from outside. They get a hot hand. 27-23, MSJ on top. We've got steps on Caligiuri, the Raiders.
Joe gets called for traveling.
So the Mounties will take over here. 1:57 left, 27-23. Second quarter action from Keefe tonight, junior varsity action. This is Polgar. Lost the handle, gets it back, save to McCormick. To Boudreau from outside, and that one doesn't hit. Controlled by the Raiders. Baker in the lane, takes a shot, and it's good. Jesse Baker.
Josh Polgar went down pretty hard down here in the other end.
He got up, he was a little gingerly there coming back down. Polgar now with the ball working against Baker. 27-25, MSJ on top with 1:15 left in the second quarter. McCormick, and it went into Weatherby. We got a foul underneath.
Brian Hackett.
So Hackett will pick up his first.
There should be 16 fouls for Rutland.
Yeah, 6 for Rutland and 7 for the Mounties here. 1:05 left. Polgar working out front now to go to McCann. Back to Polgar. We're going to hold it here for one shot. Down to 50 seconds left. Over to Boudreau. Boudreau and Polgar. 27-25. MSJ on top. Polgar now goes to McCormick. Back to Boudreau. Boudreau and Polgar. Polgar is going to... He can't rest against that Raider defense there. 26 seconds left. Second quarter action here from Keith. Polgar in the lane and off the glass. He doesn't get the basket. But he's fouled going through there.
That's Nichols again.
That, was it Nickel?
Yep.
That's his second. Second foul on Tom Nickel. And Polgar at the line.
They're trying to hold it up for one shot, but Josh saw a nice open lane and he took it. Got fouled.
And he gets one of two. 28-25. And the Mounties on top with 12 seconds left here, second quarter action. Caligiuri in the nickel, and Tom off the glass and in.
4 seconds.
2 seconds, and that's going to do it. At the end of 2 quarters of play, it's the Mounties 28 and the Raiders 27.
We'll be back.
How are ya?
We're back, Mark.
All right, we're back on. I got to stop my socializing, so 15.
You mentioned the officials tonight.
No, the heck with them.
Really?
Oh, no, that's my good buddy out there, Steve Morrow. He was my spotter.
No. This is Rob Black.
Well, okay. I was looking at Steve. I want to mention Steve Morrow. He was my spotter during the football season.
Okay.
I was the public address announcer at the Rutland High games this year. The other one was Rob Black, and both gentlemen do a fine job. So we've covered ourselves on that one, Brian.
There we go. We're all set now.
28-27. The Mounties, up-and-coming Mounties here on top. And I'll tell you, it's entertaining basketball that first half. I really enjoyed it. We saw some three-pointers and some real good defensive play out there on both sides of the ball. So 28-27.
Jerry and Jesse Baker hot for Rutland.
Yeah, they
Josh
were hot.
Polgar and Tom McCann for...
Yep, and Danny Boudreau
exactly.
saw some threes in there too. So we got Nickel now. Opening up here goes to Shortle and over to Baker now. Baker goes inside the Nickel in the lane to Shortle. Back out to Baker. Flips it to Caligiuri. Let's see if he's still hot here. There you go.
Two-pointer.
Two-pointer.
Yep, had his foot on the line. Nice shot.
So Caligiuri puts the Raiders up 29-28 here with 7:29 left in the third quarter of play from Keith. Inside, turnaround by Nickel, or McCann. McCann, and nice
puts it back up in.
Tom McCann off the glass, and it's 30-29. MSJ. Turnaround by Caligiuri doesn't go, and it's rebounded by Weatherby for the Mounties. Hits it ahead to Hart.
Josh Polgar back here tying his shoes.
And
makes him waste a timeout.
Josh had to tie a shoe. Tough call, but what are you going to do, you know? 30-29.
We'll take a timeout here, and there's Steve Morrow looking at us. We're back, Mark.
6:56 left here. Third quarter, second half. 30-29. And the Mounties on top. This is Hart. Gets it over to McCann. McCann in the lane and should have taken the shot there. He wanted to dish it off. It's picked up by Baker of the Raiders. And let's see, Jesse Baker out there. We've got Levancier, Caligiuri, Tom Nichols in there, and Matt Shortle. There's Nickel, the Levancier, and I think he traveled. John Paul Levancier travels, and the ball goes back to the Mounties. MSJ on top, 30-29, 6:25 left in the third quarter here. Back come the Mounties now. This is Hart. And he goes to Boudreau. Boudreau
Nice
dumps
pass
it down inside to Weatherby. Nice play. It's a good look there by Boudreau. And Baker loses it momentarily. Gets it back to Kelly to back to Baker. .601 left, third quarter. Raiders and the Mounties. MSJ on top by 1 here, 30-29. They go inside to Kelly and knocked out of bounds by Shortle. And MSJ will inbound here. Mounties going with Hart, Polgar, Boudreau, McCann, and Weatherby in there for MSJ. Goes to Polgar, had the hot hand in that first half. He's fouled on the play. No foul on that one. I don't know. I don't see any numbers up there.
They're still looking in the book.
McCann with the long jumper from outside. Doesn't go. It's run down there by Baker. McCann puts it up, and he's fouled on the play.
22 got the foul the last time. That's his third.
Is that...
That's the Matt Shortle.
Matt Shortle.
This time, who was it?
Well, I didn't know he had his third. Boy, that's... All right, that's 3. This will send McCann to the charity stripe. And that one's going to go against Joe Kelly-Jury. That was his first.
Tom hits the first one.
And he got them both. So McCann sinks them both, 32-29. MSJ on top, Lavanciere now. With the jumper, in and out, rebound by Nickel. And they're going to get him for traveling. So Tom Nickel underneath gets called for steps, and the ball goes back to MSJ. Checking in is number 11. That's Sean Irish for the Raiders. All right, back comes Hart now for the Mounties. Goes to McCann. Over to Weatherby. They go outside now. Hart again. Gets it back to Weatherby. They wanted to go outside. Run down by Polgar. 32-29. Mounties on top with 5 minutes left in the third quarter here from Keefe. Junior varsity action tonight. McCann now for the Mounties. Knocked away there momentarily by Irish. So the Mounties will inbound it here with 4:53 left in the third quarter. Outside to Polgar, working against Baker. And we got a foul outside. Let's see.
They're going to call it on Jesse.
I've got him for his first. I don't know. Yeah, that's his first. So Baker picks up the personal. And let's see. Hart gets it to Boudreau outside. Three-pointer. Well, he hit 3 of those in the first half of play, and he's found the range again. No. All right, foul outside here.
From Josh
Before the
Polgar.
shot. And they call this one on Polgar. Kevin Dumas coming back in for the Raiders, and going back out is John Paul Lavanciere.
This is the first one for Josh.
So Polgar picks up his first personal. Kelly-Jury with the turnaround. We got a foul before the shot.
Brian Hart picks that one up.
So Hart picks up the personal.
He takes a seat.
Let's see, McCormick's in for the Mounties. Baker off the glass and in. Pretty shot there by Jesse Baker for the Raiders. 35-31. Mounties on top with 4:23 left. Third quarter. Boudreau is going to take it from downtown.
They gave him a 3, and his foot was definitely on the line.
I don't think I would have given it to him.
No.
He's been hitting that all night. He's got 15 points, and they're all three-pointers. Here's Baker in the lane. Pretty play behind the back. Kevin Dumas with the basket. It's a good look by Baker in the lane. It's 38-33. And MSJ on top. 3:48 left here in the third quarter of action from Keith. Boudreaux loses the handle.
Kevin Dumas.
And the Raiders will inbound it. Dardick is back in for the Raiders. You got Dardick, Baker, Kelligeri's in there, Nickel, and also Irish for Rutland. Side to Nickel, they go back outside. Kelligeri, and let's see.
Three-pointer. He gets 3.
He's going to get 3 shots, Brian. Yeah, they had Tom McCann.
That'll be 4 for Tom, isn't it? Is that 4 or 3 for Tom?
I don't know. I've got him for 1, so I might have missed a couple here.
Yeah.
Let's see what comes up on the board
That's
here.
why they took him out earlier in the first quarter. Maybe that's his third one.
So Kelligeri
connects on the first one.
He had the hot hand there in the first quarter. Had 11 points that first quarter for Rutland.
Misses the second one. That's 3 for Tom.
Yeah, it is. That's Tom's third. So both teams at three fouls apiece. And Kelligeri sinks the. So we got 2 out of 3. 38-35 now. MSJ on top with 3:28 left in the third quarter of play here. This is Polgar now working the ball for the Mounties. Look at the push out. That's a couple of times there, Brian.
Oh, those two boys played together during 5th and 6th grade basketball too, so they know each other well.
You could tell they go right at each other, and I'll tell you, that's entertaining to see. Though I love to see 2 point guards.
Matter of fact, they were both on my team in Little League, Mark.
Is that right?
Yeah. Josh Polgar was a pitcher, and Jesse Baker was a third baseman, and catcher, and pitcher, and you name it.
So they're no strangers to you.
No.
All right, Dumas now for the Raiders. 2:59 left, third quarter. Back to Baker. They go inside to Dumas. The turnaround, and it's good.
The 1-point lead for the Mounties.
Dumas with the bucket, 38-37, and we got a timeout here. 38 for the Mounties, 37 for the Raiders.
We're back.
All right, we're back at Keefe here. 2:47 left, third quarter action, 38-37. The Mounties on top of the Raiders, and this is a junior varsity game tonight here on Channel 15, and it's been a good one so far. Polgar and Baker, and they've been in each other's face all night. I'll tell you, that's been entertaining to watch. In the lane, Polgar, and let's see, they're going to get a blocking foul on Joe Kelligeri of the Raiders.
That's Joe Kelligeri, huh?
I got
that
him for
on Joe
1
now.
Okay, that's 2 on Joe. So Josh Polgar goes to the line. Second one doesn't go. They're going to get Josh Polgar, though, for a foul. And let's see how many he's got here. That's his, I got him for 1.
The second one.
That's the second, okay. So Polgar picks up the personal. 2:25 left, third quarter, 39-37. MSJ on top. Dumas with the jumper. Oh, he's got a nice soft touch.
You got hit side to head, too, just as he was driving in.
Yeah, really. Somebody else had a soft touch. 2:08 left here in the third quarter, and it's 39 apiece here. MSJ and Rutland tonight. Junior varsity action. Mounties with the ball. They flip it back to the middle. Tom Nickel, though, picks it up, gives it to Baker now. Jesse Baker brings it up. They go to Kelligeri, whips it inside to Dumas with a turnaround. Knocked away. And let's see, they got
Big Dumas.
I think he got clobbered, but they went back. They went the other way. Weatherby there, I think, clobbered Dumas, but they
that's Kevin's third.
They gave it to Dumas, so that's his third. So 3 on Dumas. 39-39, 1:37 left in the third quarter. This is Boudreau, who gets it inside to McCann in the lane. Drove down the base here. Let's see. I think they're going to get...
Number 12?
Yeah, that's Dardick. Aaron Dardick picks up the personal for Rutland. 39-39, 1:30 left, and going to the lane, or going to the line, is Tom McCann for the Mounties.
Angel Shannon in for him.
Okay, Shannon checks in for Dardick. All right, McCann gets them both. 41-39, MSJ on top here with 1:26 left in the quarter. Kelligeri back to Baker now. Baker over to Dumas. Turnaround by Kelligeri, and it doesn't go. Rebounded by McCann. Fans wanted a foul there on the MSJ side of things, but no harm, no foul, so back the other way we go. Polgar now works it outside to McCann. Working against Nichols, slips it to Boudreau, and he dragged the pivot foot. So Dan Boudreau calls for steps, and it goes back to the Raiders. Mounties on top, 41-39, 56 seconds left in the third quarter. Kelligeri now. He's got the lane, he stops, pops, and he hits it. Joe Kelligeri with the bucket, 43 seconds left, and we're all knotted up here at 41. Back come the Mounties. This is McCormick. Looking for help here. Got to do something with it. And Dumas is working on him. They go to Polgar now. Polgar working against Baker. 22 seconds left. Third quarter, back to Boudreau. Boudreau goes back to Polgar, knocked away. Boudreau gets it back. Slips it to Polgar, and Josh puts it up. Doesn't go, but we got to... Oh, they called him for charging.
You can hear the crowd. They don't like that call.
They're into this one.
7 seconds left to go in the third quarter, Mark.
This is going to set the stage for that varsity game. 41-41. We're down to 4 seconds left. Nickel with the turnaround, and it doesn't go. So at the end of 3 quarters of play, it's the Mounties 41, the Raiders 41. All right, we're back at Keefe here for the fourth and final quarter. 41-41, we're all tied up here. The Raiders and the Mounties, junior varsity action here on Channel 15.
Now you say that, Mark, the fourth and final quarter. I went to Milton, and we went into double overtime, so don't tell me the final quarter.
Nothing's final, I guess. All right, Polgar works it to Hart. Gets it inside there, outside to McCann. Tom McCann back to Hart. Stops, and let's see, it doesn't go. Rebound, Tom Nickel, the Raiders, gets it ahead to Baker. Baker drops it down to Kelligeri. The jumper is good. So Joe Kelligeri kind of cooled off in the second quarter, came back in the third quarter, and he's picked up where he left off here. 43-41, the Raiders on top with 7:10 left in the fourth quarter. Inside, drops it down to McCann. Rebound, Dumas, and the Raiders' big men here going to work on the boards. Baker had Shannon there wide open. They didn't see him. He got the bucket. Jesse Baker puts the Raiders up here, 45-41, with 6:48 left here, fourth quarter. Downtown, and it's good. Three-pointer by Hart. Brian Hart with the three-pointer. Back come the Raiders now. 6:35 here, fourth quarter action. 45-44. And Kelligeri right at the foul line. He's starting to heat up again, Brian.
Here we go.
47-44. The Raiders on top with 6:17 left in the fourth quarter. They want to go inside. It's taken away by Shannon. And he puts it up, doesn't go. Rebound is controlled by Now let's
Jump
see.
ball.
Kelligeri had it. Polgar ties him up. And the possession arrow is going to, we're going to stay down there. Where are we going?
Yep, staying down there.
All right, so it'll be a Raider ball. So the Raiders will inbound it. Kelligeri gets it outside to Shannon. Angel's going to stop, pop it from there. Doesn't go. Rebound is controlled by McCann. Had it. Baker stole it.
On the floor.
And let's see, a foul before the shot. They call Hart for the personal?
Yep. And he comes out quick. What's that for him?
Let's see, I got 3. No, I got 2.
5.
He's got 5. Okay, I lost track of. That's it.
That was quick.
So Hart's he played a good ball game. Hit that 3-pointer last trip down. McCormick's in for the Mounties now. 47-44, 5:52 left here in the fourth quarter. Both teams have 6 fouls.
Back out.
All right, this is Baker working for the Raiders. Takes the jumper. Comes up short. Rebounded.
On the line.
And let's see. Boy,
Put the ball on the line. Rutland ball.
That was a funny play. So the Raiders.
Tom came down with a rebound, but he bounced it on the line there.
The Raiders will inbound it. 5:38 left here. 47-44. The Raiders on top. They go to nickel. Goes to Kelligeri. Kelligeri over to Baker now. Baker wants to go down inside the nickel. He works it back to Baker in the lane, and it's going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, I think Tom was waiting for the rebound, and instead Jesse passed to him at the last minute.
Yeah, you kind of knew what they wanted to do, but unfortunately it didn't work. 5:18 left, fourth quarter. The Mounties bringing it up now. Polgar. Spark plug in the backcourt here for MSJ. Josh Polgar looking for somebody. There's Boudreau now. Boudreau working against Shannon. They go to McCormick. McCormick's in for Hart. Hart had fouled out. Polgar in the lane, knocked away by Dumas. Pretty play. Polgar brings it back out. And he goes to Boudreau on the line. Unfortunately, got too close here. We got a timeout. 47 for the Raiders, 44 for the Mounties, and we'll be back.
We'll take this one here. How's that? We're back, Mark.
All right, 4:50 left, fourth quarter action. 47-44, the Raiders on top here in this junior varsity encounter here this evening. First meeting of the season between both schools. Knocked away, picked up by Polgar. And let's see, he's going to get it to McCann. McCann's going to get it back to Polgar now. 4:30 left.
That was the last timeout for MSJ.
Okay, so the Raiders must have a couple, I would think. Knocked away momentarily. Boudreau gets it back. He needs some help. That Mounties offense not moving as well as it was in the third quarter, and it's knocked away, and Shannon brings it up for the Raiders. Gets it to Baker now. Baker goes to nickel. Goes outside to Kelligeri, back to Baker now. Jesse Baker looks inside. Kevin Dumas turn around. That time it doesn't go. Nickel with the big rebound, and that one drops. Tom Nickel, 49-44, and the Raiders up here with 3:42 left in the fourth quarter. Back come the Mounties now. This is Boudreau working against Shannon. Goes down. Back outside, Polgar. 3:25 left in the fourth quarter. The Raiders on top, 49-44. That's Boudreau, and that one doesn't go. He was hot there from before.
It's his first one he's missed, I think, Mark.
Like the Mounties here, I tell you. Scrappy ball club tonight. Knocked away, Polgar. Steals from Baker, and we got a foul down at the other end. Shannon, nice defensive play, though. Prevented Polgar from going up with the shot. 2:58 left in the fourth quarter, and that one goes against Angel Shannon.
Sean Irish coming in for Angel.
So Irish checks in, and I've got Yeah, that was his first fall against Shannon. 2:58 left, and Polgar on the line for the Mounties here. And in and out on the first one.
Connects on the second one.
So Polgar gets 1 of 2. It's 49-45.
I had to kick Mark.
2:52.
He was sleeping. Okay.
No, I was jotting something down here.
Oh.
Jeez. 2:45 left, fourth quarter. Kelligiri now for the Raiders. And
It's that
it's knocked
blocked away.
Weatherby goes to Polgar. Polgar brings it up for the Mounties now. 2:32 left in the contest. 17 fouls for the Raiders, 6 for the Mounties. Knocked away, it'll be a Mountie ball now.
Well, everybody be going to the line now.
Definitely. Polgar now gets it into McCormick. Steps it outside. It's McCann. Tom's going to take it from outside. He's got it. Two-pointer.
Two-pointer.
49-47.
He was a good 2 feet inside the line there.
Yeah, he was. Fans didn't think so, though.
No.
49-47. And we got a foul away from the ball here.
That's on Jesse Baker.
Baker with
1 and 1.
Yeah. That's a shooting foul. I got him for 2. I don't know. Let's see. Jesse Baker picks up the personal. 8 team fouls on the Raiders, 6 for the Mounties now, and going to the line will be Ian McCormick for the Mounties. No, they called that on Sean Irish. That was his first.
Sorry, Jesse.
All right, McCormick makes it 49-48. Well, this is going to be a good one going down the wire here.
Tie it up right here.
No pressure. Got it. So
2
Ian
minutes to go.
McCormick, yeah.
There's no TV timeout here, folks.
No, this is it. 49-49, 1:53 left inside the nickel. They want to go down inside. Irish knocked away. Nickel gets it back. He's going to take it inside, and we got a fall. Let's see.
Around 50? Yep.
Yeah. Jeff Weatherby with the personal. I would
Everybody
think so.
goes to
Let's
the
see.
line.
Tom Nickel on the line for the Raiders. 49-49. 1:46 left here. And this has been a very well played JV basketball game this evening. Tom Nickel sinks the first one.
Tom gives Rutland back to lead by 1. By 2.
All right. So Nickel puts the Raiders back up 51-49 with 1:40 left in the ball game here. Or the fourth quarter anyways.
Thank you, Mark.
I got to remember that. All right, Polgar outside. Working around against Baker. Goes over to McCormick. McCormick.
Looking inside.
And let's see. He's going to take it into the lane. What do they call it? Timeout?
Timeout, Green.
All right, timeout, Mounties.
Wait a minute.
And
Mounties had no more timeouts before.
I
What
didn't
happened?
think they did either.
Well, they gave it to him.
Oh, it's the Raiders 51, the Mounties 49. We'll be back. All right, back at Keith, junior varsity action, 1:25 left in the fourth quarter. The Mounties have the ball. The Raiders are up 51-49. Josh Polgar working out in front against Jesse Baker. They go down low, turn around, Boudreau. Nothing doing, goes back outside to Polgar now. Polgar,
It's the mismatch
McCormick.
right there.
Yep. Weatherby, McCann, and Boudreau in for the Mounties. The Raiders go with Dumas, Baker, Kelligiri.
Travel.
And they call the travel against the Mounties, so they'll turn it back over. 57 seconds left now. And I would look for MSJ to fall here. Well, not right away, anyways. 51-49. 52 seconds left in the ball game. Baker working against Polgar. Goes to Dumas now. Dumas being guarded by McCann. Knocked away momentarily. Kevin Dumas underneath. Dumas with the bucket. 53-49 now, 30 seconds left. Boudreaux being hounded by Shannon out there. McCormick. And he takes it up and in. Ian McCormick with the basket. Well, the Raiders, Mounties will have to foul, and Tom McCann does so. 53-51. Raiders on top with 17 seconds left.
Jesse checking out the score and the time.
Weatherby picks up the personal for MSJ, so let's see. Stepping in the line will be Jesse Baker.
Gotta get the first one here.
And the Mounties are going to call a timeout. Well, they've got more than what we thought they did. We're going to leave it right here, or what are we going to do?
Let's take a timeout.
All right, 53-51. Rutland on 4-3. All right, Beckett Keith and Jesse Baker stepping in the charity stripe here. 17 seconds left, and the Raiders on top, 53-51. Baker misses the free throw. Let's see, it's going to be MSJ ball. Green ball with 15 seconds left. Hang on to your hats. This one here is going to be a seat squirmer right down to the end. We're down to 10 seconds. Polgar now looking for help. Goes to Boudreaux. 7 seconds left. They go to McCormick. 6 seconds. 4, 3. McCann puts it up at the buzzer, and it doesn't go off the rim. I'll tell you, it's one of the better JV games I've seen, Brian. The final, the Rutland High Red Raiders 53, and the Mounties from MSJ 51.
Anthem will be set to go momentarily. Tonight, by the way, is the case for all Rutland home games here at the Keefe Gym. They have the halftime shoot, the shot from half court, and as an added attraction for all 5 participants, each one of them, and that announcement is being made right now by Athletic Director Glenn Olson in the background, each one of the participants in the half court shoot, and there's a contestant here on the right, right below us, Vince, that should be in that. They all get a pair of tickets to see the Harlem Globetrotters at the Glens Falls Civic Center on Sunday, the 11th of February.
And Brian Collmore, your partner on the morning show, Jack, wants everyone to know how hard he worked to get those tickets.
I was going to say compliments of WSYB, but...
Well, through WSYB, he worked extremely hard to get those tickets.
So they've made that announcement a couple of times here at the Keefe Gym. Raiders going left to right here in the first half. The Mounties going right to left. Joe Lane jumping center against Aaron Boynton. And the first matchup of the year between the two clubs is underway as Boynton wins the tap, gets it to Duval, to Chris Mayhew. Has it in the forecourt to Duval, right sideline. Back out to Mayhew. Halfway between the circles to the left sideline to Conway, out front to Duval. on the right wing to Chris Mayhew. We're just underway. Duval now around the horn, left sideline. Conway with it. Back to Duval. Cross court at the right baseline. On the bounce now to Mayhew. Dribbles into the key to the line. Goes back on the left wing to Conway. Back out front to Joe Duval. Back on the right wing to Mayhew. Dribbles right to left. Back to Duval to the left corner now to Conway. Drives baseline. On the bounce, wanted to feed Boynton, and he did get it to Bailey. Bailey tried to lay it up. It was blocked out of bounds, but we got a foul against MSJ. Aaron Bailey will be at the line for 2 shots. Looked like they tried to get that one into Boynton, but it was deflected. It went right to Bailey, and he was fouled in the act of shooting. And the foul is on Joe Lane, his first on the team. And absolutely, MSJ cannot afford Joe Lane to get into foul trouble here.
I'm sure Coach Wood was not anticipating 33 seconds gone in this game, and his center, Joe Lane, already with a foul.
And Bailey hits the first, and the Raiders lead at 1-0. We'll have 2 6-player award winners at the end of the game tonight from H.A. Eddy Energy Fast Break on Woodstock Avenue. Second shot by Bailey is good, gets them both. The Raiders lead at 2-0. We'll have 2 J.P. Carrera and Sons MVPs at the end of the game as well. 1 for MSJ, 1 for Rutland as the Raiders put up some full court pressure, and it worked. And caught for the traveling violation, Mark Hebert in the backcourt. So the Raiders will put the ball into play from the baseline.
It's going to be a sign of this game, Jack, is how well the Mounties can handle that intense full court pressure being thrown at them by the Raiders. The first time they saw it, it was a turnover.
Mayhew loops it out front to Bailey, halfway between the circles. On the right to Mayhew. Dribbles right to left, stops right side of the lane, out to Duval, straight on for 3. No good. Rebound, Joe Lane of the Mounties. Outlet to Hebert. Hebert roars into the forecourt down the middle. Hebert going to work on Mayhew. The Raiders in the man-to-man. The Mounties had started off in the zone. Right sideline with it is Greg Fuller. Fuller dribbles once, has it between the sideline and the key, out front to Hebert, picked up by Mayhew, dribbles left to right toward the right sideline. Mark Hebert stops out to Fuller, across the key, stops at the free throw line to Keenan, left sideline back to Fuller. On the right now to Hebert. Hebert between the sideline and the middle. Dribbles to the lane, back out to Fuller, top of the circle for 3. It's no good short. Boynton the rebound, got a foul against MSJ.
It's going to be number 2 on Joe Lane.
Yeah, I do believe so. Joe Lane with 2 quick fouls. That's his second on the team.
If you could see the reaction of Coach Wood on the MSJ sidelines, just visibly upset that the person he needed in the game most of all tonight has to come out. And it's what I talked about in the pregame, Jack, is how long can Joe Lane stay in the game? It's going to be under 2 minutes here in this first quarter already with 2 fouls.
Rich McCann is in for Joe Lane, who sits down with the 2 fouls. MSG in the 2-3 zone. With it is Duval, left sideline. Picked up by McCann off the zone. Gets it to Boynton, now to Conway, right side of the circle for 3. No good. Rebound tapped around. It goes to Duval, back up in the baseline. No good. Rebound tapped around, and Keenan comes down with it. Got a foul against Rutland. And the foul is on the Raiders' Joe Duval. That is his first on the team. Raiders lead it early 2-0, 6:22 left first quarter. So the Raiders set up the full court pressure. McCann puts the ball into play to Greg Fuller in the backcourt. Now to Hebert. They break the pressure. Hebert in the forecourt. Got it by Conway. Now on the left to McCann. Near the left sideline. Picked up by Bailey. Out front to Hebert. Hebert dribbles left to right and stops. Now to Tomasi, left side of the circle. Picked up by Duval. On the bounce, right side to Keenan, and he saves it at the right sideline nicely to Tomasi, and Tomasi was fouled by Joe Duval, and Duval has 2 quick fouls for the Raiders. Second on Joe Duval, second on the team. The Mounties will put the ball into play from the right sideline in the forecourt.
The inside threat for the Mounties and the outside threat for the Raiders, each with 2 fouls here. Haven't even played 2 minutes. We've just now played 2 minutes in this opening quarter.
With it is Mark Hebert in the forecourt, going to work on Chris Mayhew. To the left sideline, and McCann throws up the 3. It's no good. Rebound to Aaron Bailey. Bailey on the bounce ahead to Mayhew. 2-0. Raiders lead it with 5:48 left first quarter. To the left sideline, Mayhew goes to Conway. Cross court to Duval. An 18-footer. Around the rim, no good. Rebound to Boynton. We got a whistle and a foul in the rebounding action. And it's on Aaron Boynton. That's the first on Aaron Boynton. The third on the team is into the ball game for Rutland High. Jake Eaton. Joe Duval checks out with the 2 fouls. I've seen MSJ Rutland games over the years, Vince, where they've been 3-2 after a quarter, 9-8 at halftime. Not that that's going to happen tonight, but
that's when the Zamboni came out, right?
Yeah, we're talking about basketball, of course. Mark Hebert with it out front, picked up by Mayhew. Now to the right baseline to McCann, going to work on Bailey. Lost control. It goes out of bounds. Off McCann. It'll be Rutland's basketball.
Speaking of those games, Jack, those low-scoring ones, did the basketball have a blue dot on it when they were dribbling it?
Yeah, we wanted to keep track of it. I think we had the hockey game the other night that way. On the radio, too. With the left sideline is Conway. Conway down the left baseline, stops, goes to Boynton. Boynton dribbles into the lane. His short jumper is good, and the Raiders lead it 4-0. That's the first field goal of the basketball game, almost 3 minutes in. 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Hebert roars into the forecourt all the way to the lane. Dumps it off for Tomasi. Lays it up. No good. It went over the bucket. Comes down to Aaron Bailey. Dribbles a few times and sends it down to Mayhew. Mayhew down the right sideline on the forecourt for Conway. Back to Mayhew. Into the lane. Back out to Bailey to Eaton. Left sideline on the bounce. It goes now to Conway. On the right to Mayhew. Right side of the lane. Back on the left wing. It goes to Conway. Conway lost the handle. Picks it up again. To the left corner to Eaton. Down low to Boynton. It's knocked out of bounds by Fuller. It'll be Rutland's basketball. 4-0 Raiders, 4:35 left first quarter here at the Keefe Gym. As Mayhew puts the ball into play to Eaton, left sideline. Now to Conway between the sideline and the key. Now to Bailey. Now to the right sideline to Mayhew. Down low is pass intended for Boynton, picked off by Greg Fuller. Now with it is Mark Hebert. Hebert throws it in the forecourt for McCann. McCann dribbles into the lane. Almost lost the handle out to Keenan at the free throw line. He fires and hits. First field goal of the ball game for the Mounties, their first points. The Raiders lead it 4-2. Here's Eaton, left sideline in the forecourt. Now to Mayhew, to Bailey, right sideline to Conway. Conway down low for Boynton, and he lays it in. Got it down low. Let his man go by him and just laid it in easily, and the Raiders lead it 6-2. Into the forecourt quickly, Mark Hebert. Down the right sideline to the right baseline. Stops the dribble out to McCann now, right side of the circle. Controlling off the dribble. On the bounce top of the circle, he goes to Brian Keenan, picked up by Boynton. Back on the right to McCann. Between the sideline and the key, picked up by Bailey. The Raiders in the man-to-man. McCann dribbles to the right and stops out to Fuller, now to Hebert as he backs it up toward the midcourt circle. Goes to the left sideline now to Rich McCann. Down low, wanted to go to Keenan and over to steal Boynton easily as he goes on the outlet to Mayhew into the forecourt. Back now to Eaton, to Boynton, to Conway, left sideline. Conway in the bounce, left wing to Mayhew. Back to Conway, left sideline. Conway to the left baseline. And his no-look pass knocked away, but it goes to Boynton in the lane. Back out to Mayhew, right sideline. To the right side of the lane. His short jumper's good. 8-2. The Raiders up by 6. 3:05 left first quarter. Greg Fuller picked up by Mayhew in the backcourt as he stops the dribble. And he sends it right by Hebert out of bounds. Good defense by Chris Mayhew. It'll be Rutland's basketball. As Todd Martineau checks in, we got a timeout, MSJ. Todd Martineau will check in for the Mounties when we come back. 2:56 left first quarter. Our score, Rutland 8. MSJ hit it early, 8-2 with 2:56 left in the first quarter. Tonight's game being taped for broadcast at a later date on Channel 15, and the cameraman is Chris Mayhew.
As always.
I mean, not Chris, Brian Mayhew.
Oh, yeah, as always.
This year we got it the other way around. Darn, I almost had a perfect season, too.
I was going to say, as always, Jack has to mess up at some point during the season. But statisticians John Casarino and Mark Wambach quick to point out that MSJ already with 4 turnovers in this first quarter, and we played just 5 minutes, so that's going to be a concern for Coach Wood. That's what caused that timeout. Him obviously concerned with 4 turnovers early on, unable to handle the Rutland press. Raiders basketball, Bailey, right baseline, wanted to go to point, knocked away, goes right back to Bailey. When Martineau came in for MSJ, he came in for Rich McCann. With it now, left sideline is Mayhew on the cut to point and turns in the lane, and his shot is no good. Rebound to Hebert. Hebert, Tomasi, Keenan, Martineau and Fuller right now for MSJ. Hebert controls in the forecourt, dribbles toward the right sideline. Sends it out to Fuller now to Keenan, left side of the circle. Back to Fuller, right baseline, throws up the 17-footer and drills it. Rutland 8, MSJ 4, 2:18 left first quarter. Mayhew, Boynton, Bailey, Eaton, and Conway for Rutland High. With it is Mayhew. Now to Boynton to the left sideline to Mayhew. Mayhew back, not Mayhew, but Conway back out to Eaton to Mayhew now, right side. Dribbles into the lane, shot blocked, and it comes down to Keenan. Keenan throws it ahead now for Martineau, and getting over to knock the ball out of bounds was Conway. What a great defensive play by Conway. It'll be MSJ's basketball. There's a surprise. Jake Conway on the floor, diving for a loose ball. You may have picked up over the microphones the floor burns and the diving and over to the table and through the water bucket and everything. Here's Jake Conway doing it again.
Tim Camden has just checked in for MSJ for Keenan. Here's Fuller for 3 from the left sideline. He hits. Greg Fuller on the 3, and Rutland's lead down to 2. The Raiders lead at 8-6. Or let's see, that is 8-7 now. They correct it up on the board. Eaton with it left sideline. Eaton to the left side of the lane, back to Mayhew near the right sideline. Mayhew now to Bailey. Bailey to Boynton. Backs it up. Back to Mayhew. Dribbles into the lane. Back to Boynton underneath. He lays it in. Pretty play. Mayhew found Boynton underneath, and he laid it in easily. 10-7. The Raiders have a 3-point lead. A minute 25 left first quarter. Fuller picked up by Conway in the backcourt. Got it to Hebert. Picked up by Chris Mayhew. Hebert into the forecourt. Picked up by Mayhew as he dribbles to the right baseline. On the bounce to Tomasi. Saves it at the baseline. Back to the left sideline to Greg Fuller. Dribbles toward the left baseline on Conway and dribbles back out again. Stops left wing. Out to Todd Martineau. Halfway between the circles. Picked up by Bailey as he dribbles to the right and stops. Todd Martineau looking around. Martineau sends it now to Camden, right baseline. Takes the jumper. It's no good. Rebound to Bailey. Bailey sends it ahead now to Mayhew into the forecourt, down the right sideline, dribbles right to left into the lane, short jumper, no good, short. Rebound from Boynton to Mayhew, short jumper, good. Well, now Boynton kept it alive. He tapped it to Mayhew, hit the short jumper, and the Raiders lead at 12-7 with 38 seconds left first quarter. Hebert rifles it into the forecourt for Camden. Into the lane on the right to Tomasi. Drives baseline, lays it up, and in. It's going to count. He got fouled. Pete Tomasi with an opportunity for a three-point play. And the foul is on Jake Eaton, and that is Eaton's first.
Fourth on the team.
And that is the fourth on the team. As into the ball game now for Rutland High is Dave Pallard.
Tell you,
comes in for Aaron Bailey.
Tomasi got that pass on the baseline, and let's coin a phrase for Pete Tomasi. Had his eyes focused on that rim, just powered it in and drew the foul.
That bucket by Tomasi made it 12-9 Raiders. He hits the free throw to make it 12-10 Rutland. A 2-point lead for the Raiders. 25 seconds left first quarter. Mayhew setting it up for one shot. Sends it to the right sideline to Eaton. Jake Eaton sends it out front to Mike Stempek, who's checked into the ball game for Rutland High. Now to Mayhew left sideline, back to Eaton. 14 seconds left in the quarter. Back to Stempek, right sideline. Back out front to Mayhew, halfway between the circles. Also, John Lind has checked in for Rutland. They've made a few changes. Here's Eaton. His shot is deflected. It goes right to Mayhew in the lane. Short jumper, no good as time expires, ending the first quarter. I'm not sure who got a piece of that shot, but I believe it was Martineau. And a nice defensive play by Todd Martineau as time expires, ending the first quarter, and MSJ with a little run after a quarter. It is Rutland 12, MSJ 10. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. Quarter action. It is Mike Stempek, Dave Pallard, Jake Eaton, John Lind, and Chris Mayhew in there right now for the Raiders. Greg Fuller, Todd Martineau, Mark Hebert, Pete Tomasi, and also Tim Camden for MSJ.
MSJ had to get a good performance out of Fuller. They did. 5 points in that first quarter. In depth for Rutland, 7 people played in that first quarter for the Raiders, and now make that 9 as there's 2 more substitutions.
MSJ's basketball. Fuller, right side for 3. It is no good. Rebound to Mike Stempek. Ahead now to Mayhew. Mayhew roars into the forecourt. Mayhew to the left side of the lane. We got a whistle and a foul against Mark Hebert. Mark Hebert of the Mounties on the foul. His first, third on the team. Chris Mayhew gets set to put the ball into play from the baseline for Rutland High. Looks around, gets it into Eaton left sideline, out to Mike Stempek. Back to Eaton left sideline. To the left baseline to Pallard, back out to Mayhew. Dribbles into the key and stops. Sends it to the right sideline to Stempek. Stempek tried to force it inside the ball. Kicked by Greg Fuller. It'll be Rutland's basketball. Chris Mayhew getting set to put the ball into play from the baseline. Gets it in on the bounce, right sideline to Eaton, out to Stempek, top of the circle. Now to Lind. Lind's pass knocked out of bounds by Martineau's pass intended for Mayhew.
Well, what we're seeing here offensively for the Raiders is a lot of patience trying to get the inside-outside combination working. The possession before it went down low to Pallard. He swung it back around to the perimeter. That's how you beat this zone defense that the Mounties are in right now.
Lind in the lane, lost the handle, steal by Tomasi. Tomasi into the forecourt. Tomasi pulls it up, right side, goes to Fuller, right wing, out to Hebert, top of the circle, and on the left wanted to go to Martineau, went by him and out of bounds, turnover there. Rutland's basketball, early going second quarter, Rutland 12, MSJ 10.
Both Camden and Martineau were over on that right wing, but neither of them stepped out and flashed to the wide wing, and that's where Hebert's pass was intended, went out of bounds for another Mountie turnover.
MSJ in the 2-3 zone. Pallard with it, right baseline out to Stempek, now on the right to Jake Eaton. Jake Eaton cross-court to the left corner to Mayhew, down the left baseline. Pulls up for the jumper, in and out, no good. Rebound tapped around, it comes down to Martineau. Martineau sends it to Hebert as the Mounties controlled Hebert into the forecourt down the middle. Picked up by Mayhew off the man-to-man. On the bounce to Cannon, left side of the circle. On the right now it is Martineau with it. Dribbles to the free throw line. Fires up off the back of the rim. No good. Rebound, Stempeck. Outlet now to Mayhew. Ahead to Eaton. Left sideline in the forecourt. Roars to the left baseline. He's fouled. I believe that, too, would be on Hebert. And that is number 2 on Mark Hebert. And that is number 4 on the team, Rutland's basketball. As Jake Conway, Aaron Boynton, and Joe Duval check back in for Rutland for Stempeck, Lind, and Chris Mayhew.
Hebert picking up his second personal for the Mounties. That's Leon Wood's floor general out there, and we've seen the games we've done for the Mounties. He has a tendency to pick up quick fouls. They need to have him in the game, as well as Joe Lane, who's out with 2 already.
Jake Eaton down low to Boynton. Turn around for the baseline is no good. Rebound tapped around. Back off the glass. Comes down to Martineau to Hebert. Hebert into the forecourt down the middle. Hebert into the lane to the left baseline to Camden. 17-footer, no good. Rebound to Fuller in the lane. Short jumper, no good. Rebound goes to Paller. Paller of Rutland High on the outlet to Duval. Sends it ahead to Eaton. Eaton into the forecourt down the middle. Eaton dribbles to the right and goes to Conway right sideline. Cross court to Duval left sideline. Joe Duval looking inside. Sends it on the bounce right side to Eaton. On the bounce to Paller right baseline. Double teamed off the zone by Fuller and Camden. And Fuller relented a little bit. Now Eaton goes to Duval. Duval left side of the lane to the left corner to Conway. Up for 3. No good. Rebound goes off Paller. Right to Duval. Pass intended for Boynton. Knocked away by Fuller. It went to Tomasi to Martineau, and he lays it in. Fuller made the play initially at the other end, and the Mounties have come back to tie it at 12 apiece. 5:33 left first half. Duval sends it now to Eaton at the free throw line. He fires and hits. 14-12, the Raiders up by 2.
Getting back to that Martineau layup, Jake Eaton, only a freshman, did the heads-up thing, beat Martineau down the court, and was in a position to take the charge. There was just no contact made. Smart play by the freshman Eaton.
Aaron Bailey getting set to check back in for Rutland High here in a moment. Here's Tomasi, 18-footer, no good off the back of the rim. Easy rebound. Aaron Boynton got way up there. Goes to Eaton. Eaton into the forecourt down the right sideline for Conway. Dribbles once. The 17-footer no go. Rebound tap right to Duval. Left baseline. Lost the handle. Stolen away by Martineau. Martineau into the forecourt for MSJ down the right sideline. Dribbles to the right side of the lane out to Hebert. Top of the circle for 3. No good. Rebound Boynton. Foul by Tomasi. Pete Tomasi on the foul for MSJ. His first, and that is the 5th on the team as Bailey comes in for Rutland High for Dave Paller. And out of the ball game, Todd Martineau back in. Rich McCann for MSJ.
Keep in mind, MSJ staying around now, trailing only by 2. And their main man in the pivot, Joe Lane, came out with only 2 minutes gone in this contest.
Duval with it left sideline. Duval now to Bailey in the lane. Cross court on the right wing to Jake Eaton. Back on the cut to Bailey on the bounce right baseline to Boynton. Backs it up and fires. It's no good. And we got a foul in the rebounding action. I think Aaron Bailey pushed off. He did. We got a foul on Aaron Bailey, his first, and that is the 5th on the team. Both teams have 5 team fouls.
So a nice job for the Mounties boxing out down low. They're giving up size at virtually every position with these lineups in the game now. And it all boils down to getting good position. That's what the Mounties are doing, keeping the taller Raiders off the boards.
Fuller with it right sideline for MSJ. Dribbles toward the key and sends it out to Hebert near the midcourt circle, picked up by Duval. Back to the right sideline to Fuller. Throws up the 3. It's no good off the rim. Rebound goes out of bounds. And apparently off a Raider, it'll be MSJ's basketball. 4:11 left first half. Low-scoring ball game. Rutland has a 14-12 lead. MSJ is 1 for 8 from the field. Rutland is 1 for 7 in this quarter. As we got a foul against Rutland out front on Duval, and Duval's got 3.
Usually when you speak of Joe Duval in 3, it's from the three-point line. Unfortunately for Coach Kinsman and his Raiders, the 3 that's representing the output from Joe Duval tonight is 3 personal fouls here with still 4:05 remaining in this first half.
And that's 6 on the team. It's MSJ's basketball. Hebert with it. Hebert has trouble with it. Conway and Hebert. It's picked off by Duval and then restolen by Hebert. And then we got a foul against Rutland High. Hebert hustling all over the place. And this foul is on Conway. That puts the Raiders over the limit. That's their 7th team foul. Conway's first foul as Martineau is in for MSJ, and who's going to be checking out? See, Duval is checked out for Rutland, and
Martineau is coming out for MSJ.
Stempeck checked in.
tell you, there might as well be a blue dot on the ball tonight, Jack, with all the checking that's going on around midcourt. The last couple of possessions here has been very physical for both ball clubs.
Hebert is at the line for a 1-on-1 for MSJ, and he misses the shot and the rebound to Bailey. Who checked in for MSJ for Martineau? Was it Camden? Was he out and then came back in?
Yeah. I think it
With the right sideline for the Raiders is Stempeck to Bailey, now to Boynton, and he finds an opening and lays it in. Nice ball movement for the Raiders as they go up 16-12. The inbounds pass knocked out of bounds by Conway.
Better yet, I'm going to say I'm not sure who came in for MSJ because I know you'll haunt me down in the hallways tomorrow saying I told you it was him.
Martineau's back in. Camden's out now. Anyway, Joe Lane is back in. He's got the 2 fouls. So we'll set the alignment for both teams here when we have an opportunity. Hebert is out of the ball game for MSJ now as well. McCann with it. 16-12. The Raiders have a 4-point lead. McCann into the lane. Short jumper's good. Rutland 16, MSJ 14. 3:25 left in the half. Here's Conway left sideline for the Raiders. Went to Boynton. Boynton lost it to Pete Tomasi. Tomasi in with Rich McCann, Greg Fuller, Joe Lane is in there, and Todd Martineau. The Raiders are going with Boynton, Eaton, Bailey, Stempeck, and also in there is Jake Conway. Martineau to the free throw line, fires up, around the rim, no good. Rebound, saved to the baseline by Tomasi. Scramble for the basketball along the sideline. Collision, and everybody goes down. We finally got a whistle. It was Conway and Boynton and Tomasi all went down near midcourt.
Short of a first down. After all is said and done, great hustle by both ball clubs, and the fans certainly showing their appreciation.
What did they finally call on that?
It was a possession. It was a jump ball
situation. Rutland's basketball, and Rutland has the 2-point lead.
Both teams are playing extremely hard here in this first half.
Right sideline, Conway with it against the 2-3 zone. Out to Stempeck, top of the circle on the bounce. Left sideline to Jake Eaton. Dribbles into the lane, drives and lays it up and in, around the rim and in. Great move to the bucket for Jake Eaton, the freshman. Rutland 18, MSJ 14. 2:38 left first half. With it now, Rich McCann picked up by Stempeck in the forecourt. McCann out near the midcourt circle, dribbles to the right. Still controlling off the dribble, stops the dribble, goes to Martineau right sideline. Picked up by Boynton. Todd Martineau dribbles toward the right side of the lane. On the bounce now to Tomasi at the right baseline. Shut off by Bailey, forces the shot, it's no good. But we got a 3-second violation against MSJ. Good defense picked up there, or put up by the Raiders as Brian Keenan checks in for MSJ for Pete Tomasi. Slowly into the forecourt is the freshman Jake Eaton. Dribbles to the left on the bounce. Left side to Mike Stempeck near the sideline. On the right now to Conway. Dribbles to the free throw line. Back to Stempeck. Left wing for 3. No good off the glass. Rebound to Todd Martineau. He goes to Fuller. Fuller ahead now to Rich McCann. McCann into the forecourt. Coming down on 2 minutes left first half. Rutland 18, MSJ 14. Very low scoring ball game tonight at the Keefe Gym. Keenan with it right side of the circle now to McCann left sideline for 3. It's no good. Rebound at the baseline to Stempeck, and he tried to save it. It was deflected right to Keenan on the steal, but re-stolen by Stempeck. Now with it is Eaton. Eaton into the forecourt down the right sideline. Dribbles into the lane. On the bounce right baseline to Bailey. Now to Boynton. Dribbles into the lane and lays it in. It's going to count. He got fouled. Aaron Boynton's got an opportunity for a 3-point play. I'll tell you, when Aaron Boynton finds an opening in the lane, forget it if he wants to go to the bucket as he did there. And he's done that all year, really, and he puts the Raiders up 20-14. That foul is the 16th foul on the Mounties. The foul was on Fuller, his first. McCann is out. Let's see, Tomasi Hebert in for MSJ. Todd Martineau out. Boynton at the line, opportunity for a 3-point play, and he hits the free throw to complete the 3-point play. As the Raiders now lead it by 7, their biggest lead. They lead at 21-14. Stempeck is out for Rutland High, and Ethan Barron has just checked in. Minute 37 left first half here. Confrontation number 1 between MSJ and Rutland and boys basketball. We're at the Keefe Gym. Right baseline, Keenan. Short jumper's good. Hebert found him at the right baseline for the easy jumper, 21-16. The Raiders by 5. Minute 23 left here in the first half. Right sideline, Conway with it. Dribbles to the right side of the lane. Tried to go into Boynton, went by him, saved by Barron. Got it back out to Eaton left side. Eaton on the bounce, right side of the circle for Conway. Out to Barron, to the left sideline to Eaton. Dribbles to the left baseline. His jumper is deflected out of bounds by Keenan. Nice defensive play by Brian Keenan. It'll be Rutland's basketball from the baseline with 1:06 left in the first half. Jake Eaton looking to put the ball into play, gets it in on the bounce to Ethan Barron, left sideline, out front to Conway. Conway stops on the right to Eaton, lines up the three. It's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Boynton, back up, deflected by Lane. Foul on Lane, number 3 on Joe Lane. That is a huge foul on the Mountie center. Joe Lane with his 3rd, and that is the 8th. Let's see, how many team fouls on the Mounties now? The 7th. Is that right?
8.
Or it's the 8th, okay. Only got the 7th up on the board.
Now they have 7. Yeah, I must have said 6 from our vantage point. Couldn't tell the difference. But I tell you, you say it was a big foul against Lane. I think...
Point at the line, we might add, for 2. He was in the act of shooting. He misses the first as Camden is in for Joe Lane, who sits down with the 3 fouls.
Isn't a word big enough to describe for Coach Leon Wood and his Mounties how big that foul was on Joe Lane.
56 seconds left in the first half. Second shot by Boynton is no good off the back of the rim. Rebound Conway in the lane. Back up, no good. Rebound fought for Fuller. He wanted to go to Tomasi, picked off by Eaton in the lane. Short jumper around the rim and in. Big turnover against MSJ, and Eaton hit the bucket in the lane. 23-16. The Raiders have a 7-point lead. That matches their biggest lead. 40 seconds left in the half. When it is Hebert out to Tomasi, top of the circle. Tomasi on the right wing to Camden. Throws up the 3, and the air ball. It'll go out of bounds. Tomasi saves it to Keenan. He lays it in. Premature on the call. Tomasi went by Boynton and saved it to Keenan. He laid it in. 23-18. Raiders with a lead. We're going to steal by Tomasi to Hebert. Aaron Boynton was watching that ball just roll out of bounds, and Tomasi just hustling all the time.
No question, he had his eyes fixed on that basketball. Great hustle by Tomasi.
9 seconds left in the half. 23-18, a 5-point Raider lead. Hebert right sideline. 4 seconds left in the half. Hebert, the 18-footer off the rim. No good. Rebound to Bailey as time expires, ending the first half. And it's been a low-scoring ball game to this point, but an interesting ball game to this point for sure. We're at halftime here at the Keefe Gym. Matchup number 1 between MSJ and Rutland and boys basketball. And at halftime, our score, Rutland 23, MSJ 18. We'll be back to talk about it after this time.
For the Rutland Raiders.
All right, we're set to go here for second half action momentarily. At the end of the game, we'll have 2 6-player award winners. Brought to you by H.A. Eddy Energy Fast Break on Woodstock Avenue, and 2 J.P. Carrera & Sons MVPs. Now, I just want to say that even though we're a little behind, we're behind all season really for the Caps, except for the first couple of games of the season. We're working on that. We will catch up to this point. Not, well, I guess we will include tonight's game, and I think maybe the games tomorrow, but up until the games that we had on Saturday, we have caught up on J.P. Carrera & Sons. Everybody should be getting their prizes by the end of the week or the beginning of next week. All the players in all the sports that have received their J.P. Carrera & Sons MVP awards, they will be getting the souvenirs by the end of the week or maybe the early part of next week. Had a meeting with J.P. Carrera & Sons today, one of our fine sponsors. We have a little delay. There was we'll say Mark is here. Yeah, jump up and get it. Yeah, okay. All right. Mark Williams is here.
With one of his jump shots.
Vince says you'll be aiming for the basket and he'll hit the basketball off the top. They're going to leave it there, I guess. Well,
I think Chris Mayhew went into the broom closet.
Basket ball on top of the...
Try to get it. He's got those long arms. Remember David Thompson of old ABA fame?
Oh, sure, North Carolina State.
Grab $1 off the top of the backboard.
Yes.
There was speculation that Michael Jordan could grab $1 and leave change.
I like that new Michael Jordan commercial, by the way. And Chris Mayhew did knock the basketball off the top of the backboard here. We might add, it did go in the basket.
Good commercials. For Super Bowl Sunday, coming up Sunday at Dallas and Pittsburgh, and that's actually one of the highlights. Is waiting for the new commercials to come out.
Yeah, that might be the only highlights. Not for you, but maybe for the rest of us. It'll be MSJ's basketball here at the beginning of the second half. MSJ going with Pete Tomasi, Greg Fuller, Mark Hebert, Joe Lane, who's got the 3 fouls, and also Brian Keenan. It'll be Aaron Boynton along with Chris Mayhew, Jake Conway, Joe Duval and also Aaron Bailey.
That reminds me,
For Rutland High.
I see Mitch over there. I got to ask him after the game if Dallas still has problems.
I don't think so. MSJ going left to right here in the second half. Rutland right to left. Keenan, 17-footer in the key is no good. Rebound, Lane back up and good. And maybe that's why MSJ needs Joe Lane in there.
Absolutely.
He's got the 3 fouls. 23-20, a 3-point Rutland lead, and the Raiders throw the ball away. It's MSJ's basketball in the backcourt.
The longer Lane is in the game for the Mounties, the better off they are. There's no question. He gives them an inside presence that they do not have when he comes out.
With it now is Fuller. Fuller dribbles into the lane. It forces up the 14-footer. It's short. Rebound, 5-4, and it goes to Jake Conway at the sideline. Goes to Duval. It goes to Chris Mayhew. Mayhew skips into the forecourt down the left sideline. Raiders have the 3-point lead early going third quarter. Right sideline, Jake Conway with it. Cross court to the left baseline to Aaron Bailey. Back to Duval out front to Mayhew. On the right to Conway. Right sideline for 3. It's short. Rebound off to Massey. Hebert fighting for it, and Conway comes out of there with it and saved it to Duval to Mayhew. Now to Boynton, has an opening in the lane and lays it in. And we mentioned that in the first half. Once he sees an opening in the lane, he gets to the bucket in a hurry. He did it there. An easy layup for Aaron Boynton, and the Raiders up 25-20. 6:50 remaining third quarter. Brian Keenan in the forecourt for MSJ. On the right now, it is Joe Lane with it. Going to work on Bailey to the right baseline. His short jumper, no go. Boynton the rebound. Aaron Boynton gets it to Mayhew. Mayhew throws into the forecourt for Conway, drives baseline. It lays it in. Conway, strong move to the bucket. And the Raiders now match their biggest lead. Rutland 27, MSJ 20. Fuller the other way. Fuller quickly into the forecourt. Almost lost the handle. Grabs it at the left sideline. Now to Keenan in the lane. Back out on the bounce to Hebert. Picked up by Mayhew. The Raiders in the man-to-man. And the pass intended for Fuller picked off by Conway. Conway drives, and Fuller comes back and knocks the ball out of bounds. Great defensive play by Greg Fuller. It'll be Rutland's basketball. Oh, what a play by Fuller.
Wow. Unbelievable. Great hustle by Fuller. Great steal by Conway. Two juniors giving it their all.
Conway top of the circle for 3. No good off the back of the rim. Rebound to Joe Lane. MSJ controlling now. Fuller with it. Ahead to Hebert. Hebert into the forecourt down the middle. On the right wing to Brian Keenan. Going to work on Boynton toward the right baseline. Brings it back to Fuller right wing. 17-footer no good. Rebound tapped around. Tomasi underneath. Lays it up no good. But we got a foul on the floor. And I think it's on Joe Duval. And it is on Joe. And Joe's got 4 personal fouls, getting the starting nod tonight for the Raiders. 4th on Joe Duval, and that's the first on the team. It'll be MSJ's basketball from the baseline. Brian Keenan looking to put the ball into play. Keenan gets it into Hebert, right sideline. Out front to Fuller. Fuller to the key to the line of the lane. Back out to Hebert, right sideline. Down low for Lane. Lane dribbles once, ducks underneath, lays it up, no good, went over the bucket. Rebound tap out, back out to Keenan in the lane. Short jumper's good. Brian Keenan with a couple of buckets here.
That's twice we've seen Keenan go over the top of Boynton in those long arms. You have to high arc it, and that's exactly what Keenan's done.
27-22, the Raiders have a 5-point lead, but we got a foul against MSJ. And the foul is on Mark Hebert. And that's 3 on Hebert, so he's got 3, so does Lane. John Lind is in, out Duval and Bailey. Lind is in, and also into the ball game, Jake Eaton for Rutland High, Rutland's basketball. Eaton with it left sideline out front to Conway on the right to Mayhew. Now to Lind, right side of the lane. Triple teamed off the zone. Steal by Keenan up to Hebert. Spins up to Tomasi in the forecourt. Back out to Lane to Hebert, right side to the right baseline to Keenan. His 12-footer's no good. Rebound ripped down by the Raiders, Jake Eaton. Roars into the forecourt. Down the right sideline. Jake sends it out to Mayhew. Mayhew spins into the lane, lays it up, no good. Rebound, Boynton up and good. Boynton followed it up and got the offensive rebound for the bucket. And Rutland goes up by 7 again. It's Rutland 29, MSJ 22, and Brian Keenan calls for a timeout. Timeout MSJ. They're second, they have 2 left. 4:54 left third quarter. Our score, Rutland 29, MSJ 22. And we'll be back after this 30-second ends game. St. Joe's and Castleton will be on the air beginning at 5:15. Looking forward to that on Saturday at the new athletic complex at St. Joe's.
I'll tell you, the halftime intermission did not break the momentum for either ball club. They are still coming out playing hard from baseline to baseline. And that block by Fuller off the steal by Conway just sums up this whole game. Both teams going at it 150%.
MSJ's basketball to Hebert. Cross court now to Fuller near the left sideline. Dribbles toward the baseline, pulls up for the jumper. It's off the rim, no good. Rebound to John Lynn, and he stepped out of bounds to the baseline. So it'll be MSJ's basketball. Rutland 29, MSJ 22. 4:37 left third quarter. John Lynn, Chris Mayhew, Aaron Boynton, Jake Eaton, and Jake Conway for Rutland. Brian Keenan, Pete Tomasi, Mark Hebert, Joe Lane, and Greg Fuller for MSJ. Got a steal on the inbounds play by Mayhew. He chased it down in the forecourt, tried to save it at the baseline, did to Eaton, out to Boynton. What a play by Mayhew. Back to Mayhew to Conway, left corner for the three. It's no good. Rebound to Keenan. That went all the way into the forecourt, and oh, what a play by Mayhew. He saved it at the baseline.
Wheels, wheels, wheels. Mayhew's got the speed to get it done, and he did for the Raiders.
I'll tell you, we've seen some great individual efforts tonight. Tomasi earlier saving that play. You just mentioned Fuller, Conway, and certainly Mayhew there. We got a steal by Eaton. Jake Eaton now throws it into the forecourt to Mayhew, left sideline. Gets it to Boynton, now to Lynn in the lane. 14-footer swish. And the Raiders have their biggest lead now. They lead it by 9. Rutland 31, MSJ 22. 3:50 left third quarter. Hebert throws it for Lane underneath, spins and lays it in. Nice move for Lane as Eaton committed on Lane, and Lane laid it in. Eaton with it the other way, left baseline. Short jumper. It is no good. Rebound to Fuller. 31-24. The Raiders now lead it by 7. Hebert throws it to Tomasi into the forecourt down the left sideline. Tomasi stops near the left sideline. The bounce out front to Greg Fuller. Picked up by Conway off the man-to-man to Hebert now. Picked up by Chris Mayhew off the man-to-man. 3:20 left third quarter. On the bounce to the right baseline to Fuller. Dribbles into the lane. Lays it up. No good. Went over the bucket, and it comes down to John Lynn. Outlet to Mayhew. Mayhew into the forecourt. Mayhew left side of the lane to the left corner now to Conway for three. Bang! Jake Conway hits the three from the left corner. And the Raiders go up by 10, 34-24. Into the forecourt, Hebert. 3 minutes left third quarter. Now with it, the right baseline, Keenan back along the sideline to Hebert. His pass intended for Fuller, stolen away by Conway, and he lays it in. And the Raiders starting to establish themselves now. 36-24, the Raiders with a 12-point lead.
7 points in the quarter for Conway.
Hebert now on the right wing to Joe Lane. Joe Lane pumps up the 15-footer, no go. Rebound to Chris Mayhew. Mayhew dribbles out for Rutland High, rifles into the forecourt for Conway. Wanted to go to Boynton, steal by Hebert, and Hebert dribbles back the other way. Hebert into the forecourt, right sideline for MSJ, and again, Leon Wood wants a timeout. Unofficially, MSJ's got 3, 1 left. Timeout on the floor, 2:25 left third quarter. Rutland High with its biggest lead. It's Rutland 36, MSJ 24. The Raiders by 12 will be back. Time, and the people here, I'm preaching to the choir. It's the people out there that aren't here tonight. And this is a terrible crowd for an MSJ Rutland game.
I tell you, Jack, if you were blindfolded, you came in and looked around, it looked dark in here. So
that's true. After you unfolded me.
Okay. How many people were there? I couldn't tell. It was blindfolded.
After you took the blindfold off.
Speaking of blindfolded, the Mounties may be shooting with blinders on tonight. 11 for 34 from the field to this point, thanks to Bob Fredette from the Rutland Herald with that stat.
Rich McCann into the game for MSJ, so is Todd Martineau. Martineau has it, so is Tim Cannon. He's in there. So the Mounties control McCann with it between the sideline and the key to Martineau, right sideline. Mike Stempeck is in for Rutland. I will get to the alignment for both teams when we have an opportunity. We got on 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Martineau for three. Rattles it home.
They needed that one.
Three-pointer for Todd Martineau. It's Rutland 36, MSJ 27. Eaton double team to midcourt. Gets it to Stempeck, right sideline to Conway to the right baseline. Gets it out to Paller, who's also into Eaton. Now to Stempeck, left baseline. Down low to Lynn. Drives. Baseline lays it up. No good. Rebound. Knocked out of bounds. It goes off. Rutland will be MSJ's basketball. MSJ going with Greg Fuller, Rich McCann, Joe Lane, Todd Martineau, and Tim Candid. Rutland going with Jake Conway, Mike Stempeck, Jake Eaton. Also in there, Dave Paller and John Lynn. It's MSJ's basketball with 1:35 left in the third quarter. McCann with it, going to work on Stempeck, and we get a foul. It's only the second foul total in the second half. It's against Rutland, and it's against Mike Stempeck. And that is the first on Mike. And that's the second on the team.
That last bucket for Martineau, the three-point shot for the Mounties, was absolutely what they needed after that timeout by Coach Wood to break that momentum by Rutland as they had stormed out to a 12-point lead That three-pointer by Martineau certainly quieted the crowd momentarily.
Fuller down to McCann, left sideline, picked up by Stempeck off the man-to-man. Rich McCann dribbles left to right toward the right sideline, lost the handle, it goes out of bounds. Nice defense put up by Mike Stempeck, who bothered him somewhat. It'll be Raiders basketball. Jake Eaton in the backcourt to Conway, to Jake Eaton. Jake Eaton into the forecourt. Double team. Martineau steals. Scoops it ahead to McCann. McCann's pass intended for Fuller. Stolen away by Conway. Tried to save it. Went right to McCann. He laid it in. Nice hustle by Conway, but it went right to McCann. McCann got the easy bucket.
Never save it under the opponent's basket. Conway, you can't tell him to stop hustling. He did, and landed up right in the hands of McCann, who laid it in.
Rutland leads it 36-29 with 47 seconds left here in the third quarter. Right sideline, Conway with it. Now it goes to Paller, right side of the lane. Back to Conway. To the right side of the lane. Running right-hander at the baseline. No good. Lynn, the rebound. Lost it out of bounds. MSJ's basketball with 36 seconds left in the third quarter.
After trailing by 12 a few minutes ago, a 7-0 run right now. Or excuse me, a 5-0 run for the Mounties to put them right back in this game.
30 seconds left in the third quarter. 36-29. The Raiders have the 7-point lead. Camden with it, right corner for MSJ. Picked up by Eaton. Double team sends it out front. Intended for Fuller. Foul by Conway. Only the third foul of the second half. All three team fouls on Rutland. And that foul on Jake Conway is number 2. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Tonight's game being taped for Channel 15 at a later date. Brian Mayhew is the cameraman as the inbounds pass knocked out of bounds by Paller. So the Mounties will try again with 19 seconds left in the third quarter. McCann looking to throw the ball into play. McCann looking. McCann gets it into the backcourt to Lane. Lane brings it into the forecourt. 15 seconds left in the quarter. Martineau with it now to the right baseline, and he got shut off by Paller, and we got a foul on Dave Paller. First on Paller, and that is the fourth on Rutland High. How many team fouls does MSJ have? 1? Yeah, they have 1, so that's the fourth on Rutland there. 12 seconds left here in the quarter. Here's Fuller into the lane. His 14-footer off the back of the rim, off the rim, no good. Rebound ripped down by Stempeck. His pass knocked away, and it hit the side of the board, or maybe the post that holds the backboard up, so it'll be Rutland's basketball as Tim Camden was shaken up a little bit. And he's going to come out of the ball game with 4 seconds left in the third quarter. Pete Tomasi checks in for Tim Camden. Rutland's basketball in the backcourt. 4 seconds left in the third quarter. Again, that was off MSJ because it hit the support holding up the backboard, I believe. Paller in the backcourt, getting set to put the ball on the play, gets it into Eaton. Eaton roars up the sideline, into the forecourt for 3 at the buzzer. No good, off the glass as time expires, ending the third quarter. And after 3, our score, Rutland High 36, MSJ 29. Back with the fourth quarter after this 30. Game 2 will be on the air for Game 1 beginning at 5:50. We'll have both games for you, but 5:50 our pregame showtime. 36-29, Rutland by 7 as we get set for the fourth quarter.
Now, during those hockey games tomorrow night, Jack, rumor has it that the blue dot will be on you.
Yeah.
So people can see where Jack is at all times, those that are in attendance.
Actually, we got the blue dot on your face. You know those trials where they don't want to see the criminal?
Yeah. And I just don't want to be seen with Jack. That's the thing. I don't know him.
The blue dot for Vince Allo. It's Rutland's basketball at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Jake Eaton with it, right sideline for Rutland High. Out to Bailey, who's back in. Right side of the lane, out to Conway, left sideline. Back out to Eaton, top of the circle. Eaton, Boynton, Conway, Mayhew, and Bailey. That's the alignment right now for Rutland High. Eaton on the bounce, left sideline to Conway. Down low on the bounce to Boynton. Back out to Mayhew, into the lane. His short jumper short, no good. Rebound tapped around. And chased down by Rich McCann into the forecourt. McCann pulls up for a 15-footer off the back of the rim, no good. And the rebound comes down to Aaron Bailey. Bailey gets it to Mayhew, ahead to Eaton into the forecourt. Eaton roars to the bucket, lays it up, no good. Rebound fought for, scramble for the basketball. They're on the floor, jump ball situation. Whose possession will it be? It's MSJ's basketball. MSJ going with Rich McCann, Joe Lane, Tim Camden, Todd Martineau, and Pete Tomasi. It's MSJ's basketball in the backcourt. As we say that, Brian Keenan gets set to check in for MSJ. And they're not going to let him come in right now. They'd already started with the play. Rich McCann into the forecourt on Chris Mayhew. Rich McCann dribbles left to right to the key and stops on the right to Martineau. Now to the right sideline to Pete Tomasi. Back to Martineau, right wing. Martineau dribbles down the sideline on the bounce out front to McCann. To the left sideline to Tim Candon now. To the left baseline, shut off by Bailey. Back out to McCann near the left sideline. Back to the left corner to Candon. Candon dribbles left to right into the lane. Back out to Martineau to the right side of the lane. Pulls up for the 12-footer. It's no good. Rebound fought for Lane. Tried to keep it alive. Did to Candon. Saved it to the baseline. Back to Lane. Back to Candon. Left corner for three. No go. Rebound. Boynton and also Tomasi. We got a foul. And a foul is on Martineau. And that is the second team foul on MSJ here in the half and the first on Todd Martineau. As Martineau's out and so is Candon. Brian Keenan checks in and Greg Fuller checks in. I believe Fuller got a breather right at the tail end of the third quarter. He doesn't get many. Conway, Mayhew, Boynton, Bailey, and Eaton for Rutland High. Boynton with it right side in the forecourt out to Mayhew. Now to Conway. Left sideline to Jake Eaton. Jake comes cross court now to Mayhew into the lane. Underneath to Boynton and he lays it in. Pretty play. Had it at the right baseline. 38-29. Rutland leads it by 9. Nice pass by Mayhew. 6:10 left in the ball game. Matchup number 1 in boys basketball. MSJ and Rutland at the Keefe Gym. Greg Fuller into the key to the left sideline of Rich McCann. Throws up the long three. In and out. No good. Rebound tapped around. Comes down to Aaron Boynton. Boynton spins around. Sends it on the outlet to Mayhew into the forecourt down the right sideline. Mayhew into the lane to the right sideline to Conway. Here's three. Bang. Jake Conway on the three. And Rutland goes up by a score of 41-29 with 5:40 left in the ball game.
Second three in this second half. 10 points in the second half for Conway.
With it out near the midcourt circle is Brian Keenan going to work on Aaron Boynton. Sends it to Fuller, dribbles right to left into the lane. Double pumps, throws it up around the rim, no good. Lane the rebound up, no good. And we got a foul in the rebounding action, maybe on Rich McCann of MSJ, we'll see. And it is on Rich McCann. That is his first. That's the third on the team. As Joe Duval checks in for Rutland High for Jake Conway, and Joe checks in with 4 personal fouls. Rutland right now with a 12-point lead. It matches the Raiders' biggest lead of the ball game. As with it is Joe Duval in the backcourt, double teamed as Keenan and McCann come over, breaks the pressure to first Mayhew, down to Duval. Duval to the left sideline to Jake Eaton. Back out front now, it goes to Mayhew. 2-3 Mountie zone. Mayhew back to Boynton left wing to Jake Eaton left sideline for 3. No good. Rebound to Fuller at the right baseline. Fuller holds it up and goes to Rich McCann. McCann dribbles into the forecourt on Chris Mayhew. The Mounties have been on the zone almost exclusively tonight. The Raiders in the man-to-man. Keenan left side of the lane. Back out to McCann. Head fakes to the left side of the lane. 12-footer. No go. Rebound to Mayhew. Mayhew dribbles out of traffic. He's got Duval with him. Goes coast to coast. Scoops it for Duval. Lays it up. No good, but we got a foul against MSJ. Joe Duval will be at the line for 2. He was in the act of shooting. The foul is on Greg Fuller. That's his second, 4th on the team.
Duval now with an opportunity to get into the scoring column for the first time this evening. Coming back into the lineup with 4 fouls. He picked up 3 of those early on. Spent a lot of time on the bench for Coach Kinsman. Now he filled the lane nicely, and Mayhew dished it off to him, and now he converts the first of 2.
And he will get another as he hits the first, and Rutland goes up 42-29, a 13-point lead for the Raiders, their biggest lead of the ball game. Second shot by Duval is good, hits them both. The Raiders go up 43-29.
A 7-0 run to start this fourth quarter, midway through the fourth quarter now. 7-0 run for the Raiders.
Yep, the Mounties, who had cut the lead to 7, a trail by 7 going into the fourth quarter, have yet to score here in the fourth quarter. Fuller with it, dribbles to the left and stops to the left corner to Brian Keenan. Picked up by Boynton off the man-to-man. Back out to Fuller, left side, up for 3. Bang! A much-needed 3. Aren't they all? Much-needed 3 for Greg Fuller of the Mounties. It is Rutland 43, MSJ 32.
It's like a must-win situation, aren't they all?
Left side, yeah, Eaton. Cross court now to Duval, out front to Mayhew. Dribbles into the lane, looks left, goes left to Jake Eaton. On the cut to Boynton, left side of the lane, back out to Mayhew. Mayhew to the key to the line, back out to Eaton. Can't handle the pass, goes out of bounds at the baseline. It'll be MSJ's basketball.
Eaton wanted to shoot that before he got it.
Mark Hebert checks in for MSJ for Rich McCann. It's Brian Keenan, Mark Hebert, Greg Fuller, Joe Lane, and also in there Pete Tomasi for MSJ. Right corner now with it is Greg Fuller. Wanted to take the three, but gets it to Hebert, right sideline. Back to Fuller, right sideline. Picked up by Duval. Fuller dribbles to the middle, goes to Hebert. Hebert into the lane. On the bounce, left baseline to Tomasi. A short jumper's good. And the Mounties now on a little run. It's 43-34, a 9-point Rutland High lead with 3:23 left in the ball game. Joe Duval, Chris Mayhew, Aaron Boynton, Aaron Bailey, and Jake Eaton right there in the ball game now for Rutland High. Mayhew with it into the lane. Short jumper. No good off the back of the rim. Lane pulls down the rebound from Aaron Bailey. Dribbles a few times, sends it ahead to Keenan. Keenan will dribble into the forecourt near the right sideline, picked up by Boynton. Down the sideline to the right baseline, picked up by Eaton. Out to Hebert on the left now to Fuller. Fuller between the left sideline and the middle. Fuller goes to the left baseline to Keenan. His 18-footer no good. Rebound comes down to Jake Eaton. Out-fought Lane for that one. With it now is Mayhew. 2:45 left in the ball game. And with 2:44 left, the Raiders, Dave Kinsman calls for a timeout. The Raiders' first timeout of the ball game. So with 2:44 left in the game, our score, Rutland High 43, MSJ 34. Back after this 30-second. The Mounties going with Greg Fuller, Pete Tomasi, Joe Lane, Mark Hebert, and Brian Keenan. The Raiders are going with Aaron Bailey, Jake Eaton, Jake Conway now, Chris Mayhew, and Aaron Boynton. It'll be Rutland's basketball at midcourt from the right sideline as Jake Eaton looks to put the ball into play, gets it into the backcourt for Chris Mayhew. Picked up by Hebert as the Mounties go into the man-to-man, and Hebert immediately picks up the foul. And that's 4 on Mark Hebert.
And Coach Wood pleading his case, and he simply stating all the contact that's gone on in this game tonight, and you call a little touch foul like that. He certainly didn't agree with it.
So it's Raiders basketball, right sideline. Eaton looking to put the ball into play. And he tried to, but it was kicked by Fuller.
He has a point when he says all the contact. This certainly has been a hard-fought, aggressively played contest by both ball clubs.
Eaton gets the ball into play to Conway. Has trouble with it. Conway tried to save it to Eaton at the sideline. Couldn't do it. It goes out of bounds. Nice defense over there by Tomasi. Hebert was over there as well. It'll be MSJ's basketball.
And Jake Conway was on the floor again. Big surprise there, going for a loose ball.
With it is Mark Hebert. Dribbles into the forecourt for MSJ, picked up by Chris Mayhew off the man-to-man. Hebert to the right baseline to Fuller. Has it between the sideline and the middle to Hebert. Now to Keenan on the left for 3. It's in and out, no good. Rebound, Chris Mayhew. 2:22 left in the ball game. The Raiders in control. Rutland 43, MSJ 34. In control, but not quite there. As MSJ still within shot here. Bailey with it down low. Back to Mayhew, left sideline. To Conway now to Eaton on the right between the sideline and the key. Picked up by Fuller off the man-to-man. On the bounce to Aaron Bailey. Dribbles once. Looks right, looks left. Goes right to Chris Mayhew. Picked up by Mark Hebert off the man-to-man. Well, he's almost exclusively went with his zone. They've been in the man-to-man for the last minute or two. On the cut, Conway in the lane. Conway now goes to Eaton. Ducks underneath. Plays it up. No good. Rebound Lane. Outlet to Hebert. Minute 45 left in the ball game. Hebert dribbles to the key. On the left now to Fuller. Double pump, sends it out to Tomasi on the right to Hebert. His 3 is no good, short. Rebound to Bailey. Bailey fouled by Keenan.
Another big rebound for Aaron Bailey tonight.
That is the 6th team foul on MSJ as Rich McCann comes into the ball game for MSJ for Brian Keenan. Brian Keenan's played a nice game tonight.
John Casarino pointing out 7th rebound of the ball game for Aaron Bailey. So a big rebound performance and production by Aaron Bailey, number 24 for the Raiders.
You're going to be helping us out on our 6 player selections tonight from H.A. Eddy Energy Fast Break, plus our J.P. Carrera & Sons MVP selections. John Casarino and Mark Wambach from Castleton State College. Mayhew with it in the forecourt, left side of the circle. Now goes to Bailey. Bailey halfway between the circles on the left to Boynton. Boynton backs it up a bit on the right to Conway. 1:12 left in the ball game. Conway at the right baseline to Mayhew trying to force it up. No good. Actually never got the shot away, but he was fouled. They are going to call this a shooting foul, I believe. They're going to call a foul on Lane, right? And also we got a timeout, Rutland. We'll sort that out when we come back. If that is on Joe Lane, that would be his 4th personal foul. Timeout, Rutland. 1:10 left in the ball game. Our score, Rutland High 43, MS 4th on Joe, 7th on the team. The Mounties are over the limit in the 1-on-1 situation right now, and Chris Mayhew should be at the line for 2 in the active shooting. 1:10 left in the ball game. It's Rutland 43, MSJ 34. Chris Mayhew will be at the line. Chris Mayhew, Jake Eaton, Aaron Bailey, Aaron Boynton, and Jake Conway for Rutland. Joe Lane, Rich McCann, Todd Martineau, and Mark Hebert and Greg Fuller for MSJ. Chris Mayhew at the line now.
Not a lot of free throws attempted in this ball game.
It's going to be a 1-on-1. It was not a shooting foul.
In fact,
never did really get the shot away.
MSJ's only attempted 2 free throws the entire game.
He misses the shot and the rebound to Martineau, so it was a 1-on-1, not a shooting foul. Hebert now goes to McCann. McCann to the left baseline, and he lays it up and in. Combination short jumper and a combination layup there at the baseline. Immediately, the Mounties call for a timeout after the made bucket with 59 seconds left in the ball game. It is now a 7-point Raider lead. Rutland 43, MSJ 36. We'll be back after this 30-second.
Pretty sure that the game plan for the Mounties now is to foul immediately and put Rutland to the line. They have 3 more fouls to give now, actually in the 1-on-1 situation. And Chris Mayhew has to make the free throws. He's going to have the basketball for the most part for the Raiders.
Well, Conway has it right now in the backcourt and breaks the pressure to Eaton. He's got an opening to the bucket. He lays it up. No good. But the rebound to Boynton, and he lays it in. Aaron Boynton following up the missed shot and got the easy layup as the Raiders lead at 45-36. 42 seconds left in the ball game. Martineau with it right side. Out to Hebert to the right side of the lane. Back to Martineau to the right baseline. 12-footer, no go. Rebound tapped around. Still a scramble for the basketball. Mayhew and Martineau lost it out of bounds. Rutland's basketball.
I think they're going to have to refinish the floor here after this game tonight. As most of the shine is gone after we got in here tonight. Most of the players wearing it home tonight.
28 seconds left in the ball game, and Mayhew is fouled immediately off the inbounds play by either Martineau or McCann. They were both over there. They're going to call this one on McCann. It's the 8th team foul on MSJ, and Chris Mayhew will be at the line for a 1-on-1. That foul on McCann is number 2. So Chris Mayhew at the line for a 1-on-1 for Rutland High. Rutland 45, MSJ 36. The Raiders with a 9-point lead. 28 seconds left in the ball game.
And Coach Kinsman pulls his freshman Jake Eaton over and tells him, run the clock down, as he had that breakaway layup snuffed away by Joe Lane.
Mayhew misses the shot. Fuller on the rebound. Got it to Hebert. Now to Lane. Now to the left sideline to Martineau for 3. Bang! Todd Martineau with a 3. 45-39 is the score. Rutland with a lead in the forecourt. Bailey to Mayhew. 10 seconds left in the ball game. And Mayhew was fouled as he got it out to Eaton by Joe Lane, I believe. And if it's on Lane, that's number 5. He's out of the ball game. He's fouled out with 8 seconds left in the ball game. Joe Lane is fouled out. Actually, he held on pretty nicely until 8 seconds were left in the game after getting an early foul trouble. Tim Camden replaces Joe Lane. And that is the 9th team foul on MSJ. Chris Mayhew at the line for a 1-on-1. Rutland leads at 45-39. 8 seconds left in the ball game. Shot by Mayhew around the rim and in. And he'll get another. It's Rutland 46, MSJ 39. Rutland will go to the 500 mark in league play. MSJ will fall to 0-2. We'll meet again later in the year at the MSJ Common Avenue Gym. Mayhew's second shot is good. Chris Mayhew gets them both, and Rutland leads it 47-39. In the backcourt, Hebert dribbles into the forecourt, loops it to the left sideline, intended for Martineau, by him out of bounds. Rutland's basketball with 4 seconds left in the ball game. Bailey looking to put the ball into play, some full court pressure, and then get it into Mayhew with 3 seconds left, fouled immediately. It would be a 2-shot foul. It puts the Mounties to the 10 team foul situation, the 2-shot situation. McCann on the foul, that's number 3. So the Raiders will go away with a victory here.
Certainly wasn't easy by any stretch. The Mounties did what they had to do. They got a good shooting performance on the perimeter, something they had lacked to this point in the season. And for the time that he was in there, Joe Lane was able to get some big rebounds for the Mounties. And had he been able to stay out of foul trouble, it might have made a little bit more of a difference inside for the Mounties. But the Raider depth and their overall hustle, led by Jake Conway, was just too much tonight.
Mayhew hits the first to put the Raiders up 48-39. Another one coming with 3 seconds left in the ball game. Second shot by Chris Mayhew off the rim, no good. Rebound to Martineau, 2 seconds left. Martineau from the backcourt throws it toward the bucket, no good as time expires, ending the ball game. And Rutland has won it by a score of 48-39. That's your